We are in Ulysses, New York.
Ithaca, New York?
Yeah, just outside of Ithaca.
And we are about to do the, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but a Taughannock?
We're going off of Google pronunciation here.
It looks like Taughannock. But I think it's about 1.8 miles out and back. And there's one giant waterfall, or very tall waterfall at the end, but I think you pass a couple of little waterfalls on the way up. We are not the only ones here today, surprisingly.
This is the overflow parking lot, which is full.
I don't know why, it's not like a 60-degree Sunday. You'd think we'd have it all to ourselves.
And you know, we got up early, got a good early start. We are here at the crack of dawn at noon 05.
Doing the Buttermilk Falls Gorge trail. I think it's about 1.5 miles. A little bit of elevation. It looks like in the very beginning someone said there's a ton of stairs. Yeah, hopefully they're pretty.
The stairs are pretty, or the falls are pretty?
Hopefully the stairs and the falls are pretty.
As pretty as you. We just finished the Buttermilk Falls Gorge trail. We took it all the way to the end where it kind of stops at a highway. We crossed a bridge, jumped on the, I think it's called the Rim Trail. So basically we're going to be above the gorge. The gorge is to our left down there. So I think we got the worst part out of the way, and we're just going to enjoy the views from up top. If you were going to guess how many stairs, how many?
10,000.
300? More? There's a lot.
Maybe like 500 stairs, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a lot. But it's really pretty. It looks just like Watkins Glen, kind of. Says
We've
Kansas.
never been there, but
Yeah.
that was one that I really wanted to do up here. Unfortunately, it's not exactly pet friendly, or like the prettiest trails aren't pet friendly. But yeah, I had no idea this hike was gonna look anything like that. I kind of just thought we were
Let's swing down that.
going to a waterfall.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to do the Trayman Park Lake Loop.
Big old fish just jumped. That might be in the video.
There's a shark behind me. This is on one of the Finger Lakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cayuga Lake.
Cayuga.
It's just a little walk, 1.2 miles beside part of the lake.
Yeah.
So there's about 1,000 seagulls over there.
Mine. Should be a nice little afternoon walk to end the day.
Leisurely stroll.
From all of our walking. But no stairs. We are filming an end to a day. Not necessarily the end of the video, but it's the end of the day. These fish just keep jumping everywhere.
Sounds like a big one.
Yeah. So we are just about to finish this hike, this little walk. It's not a hike whatsoever. And then we are going to head back to the campsite. And I think we're going to keep it simple for dinner and do some macaroni and cheese. And I'm sure Riley would love to get some rest tonight. I wonder how many miles we've done today. Do you know on your little Fitbit?
Well, I know that first one we did was like 1.8.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you said what we just did was 2.1. And then this is a little over a mile.
So yeah, she's done about 5 miles today. So she'll be sleeping real good. Sleeping real good tonight and limping real good tomorrow.
Hopefully.
No, but maybe.
Campsite. We found it on Airbnb. I believe it's called Sanctuary in the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Super cute. Got a swing, as you can see here. Got a seesaw, teeter-totter, whatever you want to call it, back there. Over here, got a very comfy hammock. It's one of those fabric kinds that cocoon you when you're in there. And then over here, we've got the fire pit area, a couple of chairs and benches, a little, what do you call that? Little cooking grate.
Yeah, adjustable cooking grate.
Beans wants to stay near the swing apparently. They also have a little lean-to. Unfortunately, it's not really big enough to put your tent up on the platform unless you have a very teeny tiny tent. But it's kind of nice to put all your like supplies and firewood and stuff under there in case it rains. It won't really get wet. Got a little wooden table over here to cook on. Got some accoutrements.
Beans, you want to finish the tour? Beans, is there a leaf stuck to your chin?
No. Over here you've got a picnic table, a little fun little teepee. I guess if you wanted to, you could sleep in there. It's relatively small inside, but maybe in the summer if you just want to throw your sleeping bags in there or something. And then our tent is over here. There is, if you can see that sign on the tree back behind our tent, there is like an upper camp. That's a little bit more of a primitive spot than this one is. It's about like 20 yards. No? I don't remember how far.
About 50 yards.
It's going to be about 50 yards up that way. And there is a fire pit there. That's pretty much all there was. There was a really small lean-to. We walked up there the first day we were here.
Yeah, probably more for like just to stick your gear under. You couldn't.
Yeah.
Like this one, people say that if it was raining or whatever, they could get under there and stay dry and play games. But up at the upper camp, you can't play games. It's just a small one.
And they also have a trail like around the whole property. There's a pond on like the other side that we walked to the other day. And yeah, we park, I don't know, like 100 yards away.
Yeah.
Down there, and it is, I mean, it's not a long walk, but it's about a incline, like this, to get up here, which is fun with all of your gear.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to stay here, basically you need to be packed like you're going backpacking slightly.
We are not.
We pack because most of the time we could park right next to where we camp, so it doesn't really matter. So we left most of our gear down there, and we're just kind of taking up what we need and leaving the rest down there. You still have a leaf on your chin, sweet girl.
She's heavy. That's also where the bathroom is, and where you get your water is down there, beside where you park. It's a little porta potty setup.
Yeah, I showed them.
Okay. You showed them the caravan?
No.
And there is also a caravan on the property that you can rent, although she did say that it was selling soon, but I looked yesterday and it was available through like the end of November. So you would be sharing the bathroom with them if they were here, but they're way off over there, like you can't see them from the campsite or anything.
We're at like the middle of the property. Their house is right down below the hill, and then the caravan is even further down below the hill, so it's definitely private. Got some animals.
Yeah, the first night we were here, we heard 99% sure it was a bobcat at about 2 in the morning. And then shortly after we attempted to fall asleep, we heard something that sounded quite large walking pretty close to the tent. Kind of think it was maybe a bear, because the host said that they've seen bears here before.
Just the other week. I don't remember exactly when, but they'd mentioned that some of the campers here woke up and there was a bear just hanging out in their campsite when they were waking up. So
that was comforting.
The reason we think it was a bear is because it was definitely big. We heard some like low-level grunting. Candace thought she heard like a clicking noise, and black bears make this click with their jaw, but I trust her ears more than mine. I don't hear anything, but yeah, it definitely sounded very bearish, and Riley was absolutely terrified. She literally just shook for like an hour straight, nuzzled into Candace because she was so scared. She was just sniffing all around and stuff. So who's to say what it was?
But other than that night, the past 2 nights have been animal free. Besides you saw a couple of deer last night, but they were kind of down there.
There's a cat.
Yeah, there's a kitty cat.
Who's been very interested. Every time I finish cooking, he seems to always show up for some reason. But this is a great spot. This is in Newfield, New York. We are about 15 minutes southwest of Ithaca, so we're right in the Finger Lakes area, which is really cool. I've heard of the Finger Lakes, but I never really even knew where they were.
I'm supposed to be in the Finger Lakes right now. I told them I was on a hike, snuck away to do this interview. I gotta get back pretty soon, don't worry. People disappear in the Finger Lakes.
We have been promising a tent tour in every single video that we have had on this channel so far. and it is the last night in the tent for the month, so we're going to give you guys a tent tour. This is the Core Equipment 6-person tent in orange, hence the color, and it has the screen room up front. It's not a giant screened-in porch by any means, but it's just kind of nice to have a little extra covering, leave some gear out there. If you notice, the tent has a very large blue top on it. That is because this is a summer tent, and basically as soon as we got to Maine on October 1st, it changed to winter real quick. So we bought this tarp and we went over both sides of the tent. We do still have 2 vents down at the bottom. We are running a small propane heater on the inside just to keep it a little bit more comfortable than 20. So we are venting it still. Got some nice clips here to keep the tarp down, so that way when the wind kicks up, it doesn't blow all of our heat out. Alright, so we have moved on to the inside of the tent. Riley has decided to join us for this portion of the tour. Funnily enough, that's about where she sleeps. Because it's been so cold, we kind of had to put some extra thought into our sleeping system. So we have 2 of these heavy-duty brown flannel sleeping bags. We actually have them unzipped and then zipped together to form one giant sleeping bag. And inside of that, Candace and I each have our Quest sleeping bags as well as our pillow. And then Riley has her little cushion sleeping area right here. Currently it's Candace's shirt, sometimes it's my shirt, sometimes it's a jacket. It's just whatever we can find best for Riley. And then on top of all of that, we have this queen fleece blanket. The sleeping bag on the bottom is more of a cushion, just to give us a little bit of extra padding. But when it dips down into the 20s, the second sleeping bag on top has really helped keep us warm. You might notice that on the floor of the tent, we have some of the puzzle piece gym floors that you'll see. I saw that online and thought it was a really good idea. So those are 3/4 inch mats. It's a little bulky when we're packing, but it just gives us a nice extra cushion on the bottom while we're sleeping. And underneath the sleeping bags is actually a 1-inch thick yoga mat. If you've ever tried to find a camping mat to sleep on, it is either $300 or $15 and it feels like you're sleeping on paper. I think these were like 25 or 30 bucks. They roll up pretty tightly, they're 1 inch thick, they're really, really comfortable, and that stops us from getting those awful inflatable ones that always leak. So this tent has 3 windows all the way around. It also has 2 vents, one on each bottom section. So like I said, when we're running our heater, it just keeps us nice and vented. Up top, like every tent has, we have a gear net, and this is a remote controlled lamp. It's got a couple different colors, brightness settings, and then anti-bug colors as well. That's been really nice for us when we're reading. We can just turn it on and off with a remote when we're ready to go to bed. And then right behind me is the Mr. Buddy little heater. We bought that in Eustis because it was 25 degrees and we didn't think it was going to get that cold. And that runs on 1-pound cylinders. 2 cylinders get us through a night. That gives us about 11, 12 hours of heat, so that gets us through the night when it's chilly. But this has been a nice tent. We've enjoyed it. It's big, but it's nice because sometimes we spend a lot of time in here. There's some nights where we come home from hiking or kayaking and I'm making dinner, Candace and Riley are hanging out in here, we eat in the tent, and then we just go to bed. Sometimes we don't even have a fire, so it's nice to have a little bit of extra space. We've never had the opportunity to use this because we haven't stayed at a campsite with electricity, but this tent actually has a little pass-through right there and a spider. But you can just get an extension cord. I've never done this. But
somehow
you can just get an extension cord and feed it through here and actually put power inside of your tent, which if we stayed somewhere with electricity, I would probably get a cord. That would be nice. Camp tours go pretty quick. It's nothing fancy, but it's nice. Relatively cheap. 35?
Yeah, 30 something a night. Kidding, by the way, those aren't the actual.
Well, we just sat on that bench for half an hour. Alright, so, is it on now? We recording?
Yeah, but it's really dark.
Does that help?
A little bit, yeah.